So number 5, last one, everybody can do something. All of us, everybody here, unless somebody's in a coma, everybody can do something. For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus so we can do the good things He planned for us long ago. He wants us to do something. He's working in our lives for us to do something. Do something for your marriage. Do something for your children, for your family, for your grandchildren. Do something. And even if it's and I say if it's only a ministry of prayer, what God can do through prayer, we don't even pray. We don't even ask Him. Give God something to bless. He wants to use us for our spiritual growth. Do something for our church. Do something. Be willing to do something and help us out. For your friends, for God. I've got this in the bulletin. I like it so much. This little saying. All right. I must have skipped something. All right. Thought I got there. You can't do everything, but you can do something. All right. So no matter how slow you go, you're still lapping everybody on the couch. And I go pretty slow sometimes. Well, except when I'm walking. Saint said you walk too fast. But I was closing with a different story, and then I saw this week a friend of mine in Delaware posted a picture of her husband who died 2 years ago, Jay Schlenk. In 1983, I was a 29-year-old pastor in Newcastle, Delaware. We were having a prayer meeting on Wednesday night, and a guy in our church named Al Wharton, who was a safety man at the oil refinery, said, I want you to pray for this guy today. He inhaled some of the fumes and fainted and fell like 3 stories down and broke his back. And Al said, I was the first one on the scene, the safety guy. He's in bad shape. I want you to pray for him. Now, he lived in another town. We didn't know him. We prayed for him. Fast forward about 10 years. We go down in another area and start a church. And this guy shows up with his wife. The guy we had prayed for but didn't know, but he shows up in a wheelchair. Since 1983 till he died in 2019, he never walked again. Until he got to heaven, then he finally got to walk. But Jay Schlenk became a Christian when we had baptism. He said, just wheel me down to the, we had a baptism and somebody in our church had a pool. He said, wheel me down to the deep end, okay? And he jumped off his wheelchair into the deep end and swam to the shallow end, and then we baptized him. He was faithful to church all the time. He started learning how to woodwork. He had a woodwork shop in his basement. Of course, he had a thing that took him down to the basement. When we built a church, he made things for the church. He made us a big track rack. He did woodworking classes for scouts for 4-H. When they had the Salt Lake Olympics, whatever year that was, the Winter Olympics, he was a torchbearer in the Olympics as they took the torch out to there. He was on our building committee. He was on our regular church board. Always faithful, always had a smile like that. In all the years I knew him, I never once heard him whine or complain or say, I wish I'd have never had this happen to me, or why did God do this? He was always positive and helpful, never criticized me, at least in my face that I ever knew, ever once. He always had a good attitude. He always was willing to work, and he looked like that. He had a smile and did what he could. We can all do that. Let's do what we can.